Halloween wreath. I know everyone thinks Halloween is way too early, but if you sell on Etsy, you got to get it out there now so that the algorithm has a couple of months to know your item, so that it knows to push it out to people when they go shopping for Halloween. So most of us crafters are already into Halloween and fall. So when you go to Hobby Lobby and you see all the fall stuff, don't get mad. It's our fault. Okay. But I'm gonna do a thinner wreath today. So I live in the suburbs of Chicago, and most everyone has a glass storm door, so your space in there is about 4 inches. So we're gonna do a really thin wreath. But the cool thing I have is I bought this sign last year. Now this was from the at-home store last year. I'm hoping they have something like it, but it's reversible. So this sign has a bat with little candy corns, and it says welcome. But then they'll be able to flip it out and tell kids, sorry, we're out of candy. So it's kind of got a dual purpose on this wreath. So what I'm trying to play off of is here in the bat, this purple, and I did happen to have from my Easter stash some purple mesh. Now this is 10-inch tall mesh. I've cut these pieces at 18 inches. So I needed 12 pieces cut at 18 inches. I've already done that because nobody likes to see me cutting mesh. I got this mesh from Craft Outlet. You can also find it at places like Decor Exchange, the Wreath Shop, lots of other online retailers. This is a drift border stripe mesh. This item number is RY811413. But do you see the fuzzy stuff on the edge there? That's called drift. And because it's just on the edge, that's called border stripe. So that's the kind of, this is a really good mesh. It's better quality than you're gonna find at Michael's. Hobby Lobby isn't bad. If I'm gonna buy mesh anywhere, it would be there. Joann's is okay too, but this is the really good mesh. So I've got that with this sign, and then I'm gonna pair this with, I have a purple candy corn ribbon that I got from TMI Gifts. I love this ribbon so much. But then I also needed to find something that's gonna go with this on the back where it says out of candy. So I have this ribbon here. It's black, but it's got some pink pumpkins. It's got some like pink candy corn and a little bit of it. It's almost like a slight purplish tone a little bit, but I thought this goes really well to match with the back side. And then as my 1.5 inch for my bow, I've got this glitter purple, which is so cute. I'm also going to use this on a vampire bat wreath. And then if I decide I need a larger bow, I do have this glitter black that could be the base for a bow. So how I want to do this is, because I want this sign to be able to flip, we're going to kind of make it like this, and I'm going to have to make this a little shorter, so I'm going to have to play with this wire, but I want it to be here and then flip. Okay, so that means I'm going to have my sign here and then a bow up at the top. So that's going to be my design. For right now, I'm going to put this aside. Oh, and I've also got these. These are from the Dollar Tree. Okay, look at this. This was from Dollar Tree last year. I hope they carry it this year. But I'm going to pull these off the sticks, and if there's any spots where you can see pipe cleaners, I'm just going to glue it right on there. It's going to be perfect. Or I can leave it on the wire and bend it around, because I try to avoid using glue if I can, because, you know, I just like to avoid using glue. You don't know how hot it's going to get. So I'm going to put all this in here for now. I'm going to bring over my wreath frame. So let's talk wreath frames, okay? Oh, TMI Gifts, yes. Let me just tell everybody again. This ribbon, TMI Gifts, I love it. I bought 2 of these, and I still think it wasn't enough. I'm gonna have to buy more. So we have, this is a Dollar Tree wreath frame. Yes, people are all like, Dollar Tree, ugh. But you know what? Some of the stuff at Dollar Tree is actually pretty good. Now, because the only thing going on this wreath is going to be that sign, this can handle the weight. This can't handle a whole lot of other extra weight though, so we don't want to do that on it. Sorry, I'm trying to get my comments to, there we go. Maybe I can see myself better this way. Nope, I'm still sideways. Great. Well, I hope I'm not sideways for you guys. MB Crafts by Max. Hey Max, how's it going? All right, so I've got black pipe cleaners. Now, I would have loved to have had like lilac colored pipe cleaners. That is not in my stash, but that is okay because you're not going to see these. We're going to hide these, so you're not going to see them. So on this wreath frame, if you're a beginner, there's 4 rings, okay? Inside ring, outside ring, and 2 in the middle. And then I call these the spines, okay? So we are going to wrap these around here. This is what's going to hold our mesh onto our wreath frame. So I'm going to bring this in here. It's underneath the second ring. I'm bringing it over. Now I'm going to bring it back through. But you see, I'm straddling that spine. One side of it is on the left of the spine, the other is on the right. So when I bring this back, okay, it looks kind of like, looks like that. Think of like making a W. I'm going to bring it up, twist it together. And because I've got it on the spine, this is not shifting. This is not going to move. This is exactly how we want to do it. I'm going to do that again. And I do have lots of videos for making wreaths, especially pancake wreaths, on my Tube of the You channel, because TikTok doesn't like me to mention other platforms. The Tube of You, my channel, Sweet Aria Decor, and I got lots of stuff out there too. So here we go with the third. Now watching, I'm doing just the inside first because the outside's going to be a little bit different. All right, wrapping it around. And again, I'm going to show you another, we're going to go real slow again, okay? Here's the spine. Ring 1, ring 2, from the inside out. Bring it up from the bottom of ring 2. Okay, so it's right there. Bring it under, but on the other side of the spine. Then I'm going to pull it through. So it looks like this. Kind of, if you look at it sideways, it looks like the Harry Potter scar. Then I'm going to bring it up. And then I'm just going to give it a twist once. Okay? I'm not going to untwist it again. I will end up putting the mesh right on top of it and twisting it some more. All right, so this is number 6 on the inside. So if we just did 6 on the inside, that would be okay, but that's going to be a kind of a thin-looking wreath. We want to bulk this one up a little bit, not in terms of width, but in depth, but in terms of like how wide it is. So we're going to add some stuff on the outside. So this time we're going to do the same thing we did, but we're going to do rings 3 and 4, and we're going to go between the spines. Now because we're between the spines, there's nothing really to hold on to, so I'm going to pull extra tight. So this might bend inward a little bit, and that's okay because that's going to keep it from sliding around. So here I go. Just going to wrap it around 3 and 4, give it a nice tug, and then a twist. Okay? Gonna, oops, wrap it around 3 and 4. Okay? Again, you got your little Harry Potter scar looking thing. Okay? I'm going to pull it nice and tight just so I can see a little bit of a bend in the frame, and then twist it. There we go. I'm going to go finish doing that all the way around. They do make wreath forms that already have little tinsel ties already attached to there. They're a little bit thicker though. They're not meant for pancake wreaths. There is another kind of frame you can use as well. Let me hawk that one in just a second. And this one is, it was developed with Deco Exchange and Sincerely Creative Mom. It is, it's actually made out of, it's not like a balsa wood, but like a really thin wood. And they sell these at Deco Exchange. There is an affiliate link. If you click my link tree, you can get a link to that. But there's even a recipe card in here that tells you what to cut. So there's 3 frames in this. So it'll tell you cut your ribbons at this length, your mesh at this length. Go see Sincerely Creative Mom, has tons of great videos. But this is the frame for that. And look how thin. You can get a super, super thin wreath, but then it's going to be nice and wide. I should probably do some more videos on these, but honestly, Sincerely Creative Mom, she does it the best. So I'm going to direct you to the one who does it the best. Here we go. I do try to make a bunch of thin wreaths, but also some fluffier wreaths. My fluffier wreaths tend to sell better for me on Etsy because most of those people are in other parts of the country where they don't have to worry about a storm door because they don't live in the freaking Arctic tundra like we do up here in Chicago. So those are those different kinds. So now I'm going to show you what I'm gonna do with the mesh, I'm taking all of my stuff out of this bin. I like to leave my mesh in the bin because I personally have a habit of pulling my mesh off of it's been cut, so it's kind of in a roll, but then it goes rolling off the table. And that drives me nuts. To be PG rated, I'll say it drives me nuts. So I leave it in this bin. Makes it a little bit easier for me. So I'm gonna move this over. I'm trying to watch. Hey, Carol! Carol, how are you doing? I miss you, ma'am. I miss you. I miss your smiling, happy face. All right, I'm gonna grab my first piece of mesh. And again, this is, if you've just joined, this is Drift Border Stripe Mesh. The fuzzy edge, that's what's called the drift, and because it's just on the edge and not in the middle, that's called border stripe. This came from Craft Outlet. You can get this at Deco Exchange. You can get this also at MB Craft Supply Co. Right? Right, Max? Okay. My buddy has got a brand new shop he's opened up selling supplies, so go check him out because he's fantastic. This is 10-inch mesh. I've cut these at 18 inches long, okay? And I cut 12 pieces because we have 12 of these. So what I do is, see how that wants to curl up? It wants to curl up. For a pancake wreath, we want this to be flat and skinny, right? So we want it curl side down. I'm gonna lay it as flat as I can get it. I'm gonna start down here and I'm gonna just pinch my way up. And almost, you can hear my nails scraping it a little bit. I'm scraping all the way up the center. What we are going to do is end up with a shape that looks like a bow tie. Okay? It looks like a bow tie. How cute is that? All right? I'm going to start here on the outside. And I'm going to put this right on the outside. Okay? And I'm going to put it right on top of that pipe cleaner. I didn't open that pipe cleaner. I left it closed. Now I'm going to just give it a twist again. Now don't cut this off because we need these to open up again when we put in our ribbon. But what I do then is we take the top and bottom layers and overlap them on the top and also on the bottom. And because we've done that, the mesh now has a round circular shape and it looks kind of like a pancake, right? So that's a pancake. All of them together are going to make one very large pancake, okay? Now, sometimes I will actually go through and put the ribbons in now, but I'm not going to do that for right now. I'm going to continue. I'm going to do it the proper way. I'm not going to do it what I call my lazy way. I'm just going to do all of the mesh first, okay? So we're going to do this again. We're going to scrape it up together. All right. Trying to lay this as flat as possible. And if you want to, you can even put something down at the bottom to kind of hold it there so it doesn't go moving on you. But I'm scraping up the center, okay? Sometimes if you have a plaid mesh, that's really helpful because there's already a stripe on there and it gives you a good guideline for where you need to go. Here we go. Pancake number 2. Okay, I put it in there. Okay, nice and tight. I'm gonna overlap my top, overlap my bottom, make sure it looks like a round pancake. Here we go. Let's go on to number 3. I will admit, this is not the most exciting part of making the wreath, right? Making the base, no one's like, oh, I get to roll mesh and put it in the base. No. I mean, putting the ribbons on, putting all the funky stuff that goes in it, making the bow, it's my favorite part. That's the cool stuff, but this is like the necessary stuff. Like, this is what you gotta learn. You gotta crawl before you can walk, right? So, it's kind of what this is. So we're gonna go doing this. All right. So, while I am doing this, and you guys are watching, I'm trying to go back to my comments. Sorry. Just, you love that mesh. I know, isn't that, I love this. I'm so happy I had this left over from Easter. Now, I did have a darker purple, but it just didn't look the best with that particular tone of purple on there. So I'm really glad I had this. But that's why it always pays to hoard crafting supplies, right? You never know when you're going to need something from a different season. That's why, like with my mesh, I try not to pack my mesh away by season. I try to leave that out because you never know. You never know. Here we go. Here's the next little piece of pancake. Oh, so I have a lot of work to do at home this week because my daughter, I'm letting her have a pool party with some friends that are in her class at school. So she goes to a special school with the smaller class sizes, and you know, so she's got a very small class size, but I'm letting her invite some friends over because their last day of summer school, yay, is Friday. So Saturday she's having some friends over, mostly boys. Do I need to be worried about this? Like, she's 11 and there's a bunch of boys coming over and she's all excited, but there's going to be a girl coming too. But it's mostly boys that are in the school, so that's why it's, you know, it's a little difficult for her at this age to not have more female friends. But she's working on it. She's working on it. She's going to get there. But I got a lot of work to do. I gotta clean my house. I have to fix my microwave. I electrocuted myself yesterday in the dumbest way possible. Hold on. I'll do the last ruffle and then I'll talk about the outside and then I'll tell you how stupid I am. And nobody needs to comment how stupid I am because believe me, I already know. What I did was incredibly dumb. I could have gotten killed, to be honest. It was not smart. Okay, here we go. This is the last one on the outside. Okay. So this is number 6. Just twisting that in there. Overlapping. Top and bottom. And this is also a good time if you see any little stray hairs, any stray little chin hairs from, you know, menopause and all that stuff. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. That's a good time to do it. So this is just with 6 pieces on here. Now, if you wanted just a really thin wreath, you could always just do 6 pieces and call that a day. That's how thick it is. But I like to add another extra layer because otherwise it looks kind of thin. So we're going to start adding them now on the inside. The only tricky thing is just kind of making sure you can find, you know, your pieces of your pipe cleaner poking through. It just takes an extra second or two to grab it. So I'm going to do the same thing now, but now on the inside. So what I did with the microwave is, I slammed the door and it just lost all power. I'm like, huh, that's odd. So I opened it up, I slammed the door again, and it came on just briefly and then went out again. So I'm like, okay, there's a loose connection somewhere. So I go on YouTube, because YouTube can tell you how to do anything from, like, I don't know, from harvesting a kidney, I don't know, I'm kidding, it's a joke, to anything else. So I'm like, I'm going to go on YouTube because that's what I remember. I could hear my departed husband in my head going, just go look on YouTube. Like, okay. I followed all the directions. I unplugged the microwave. I learned how to take off the vent and the cover and all the screws to get to it. And I was able to get the panel off. And, you know, I was able to find, there was some loose wires in there. They weren't unplugged. They were just a little bit loose, a little jiggly. So I was able to get it working. And then it stopped working again. So I'm like, okay. So then my stepdaughter was home and she wanted me to make some, heat up the queso that was in the fridge. I'm like, okay, well, let's do this. So I was in the pool. I got out of the pool. I am in a bathing suit and I am wet and I am standing in a pool of water in front of the microwave. But it was getting too frustrating to have to keep plugging it in and plugging it out. So I was just trying to mess with the wires while it was plugged in, while I was standing in a puddle of water and wearing a wet bathing suit. Was this intelligent? No! It was the dumbest damn thing I've ever done in my life. Did I get zapped? Yes, I did. It wasn't like a full-on, but I got a little zesty. I'm going to call it. Yeah. I got a little tingle from my head to my toes, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just heat this up on the stove. I ain't gonna touch this. But yeah, that could have been worse. That was really stupid of me. And please, people, don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. That was dumb. Watch, I just get this whole giant shipment of wreath supplies, and then I croak, and my kids are like, "What are we gonna do with this stuff now?" Yeah, so I'm going to mess with the microwave again this week. I've identified which wires it is that are loosey-goosey, but I will do so with my father present, who knows how to deal with the electrical stuff, and with it unplugged. All right? I'm going to be like Nirvana in the late 90s. I'm going to do a little MTV Unplugged. That was really stupid. But at first I was so proud of myself. I was like, I fixed it, yay! And then I didn't. It's frustrating. You know, to go from like, I had my husband here to help me with stuff, and granted, I love him dearly, but doing stuff around the house, like that was not his forte. But at least there was another adult here to be like, hey, that's really stupid, why are you doing that? So it's kind of hard to have to do all this stuff by myself now, but I mean, I'm doing it. Lots of people, lots of women do stuff on their own all the time. I'm not crying sympathy or any of that stuff. I'm just saying it's an adjustment, but I'm getting there, and I was kind of proud of myself. I've learned how to take care of the pool, and I've now learned not to electrocute myself. So there's that. All right, we are coming up to just 2 pieces left. Then we get to move on to the ribbon, which I love. I've been wanting to use that purple ribbon forever. All right, so here we go. Again, this is 10-inch mesh, cut at 18 inches long, and I cut 12 pieces of this because there are 12 attachments on this Dollar Tree wreath frame. Places where I put in pipe cleaners. All right. And making pancake wreath frames, if you're ever bored and you don't really know what you want to make, or you're not ready to make stuff yet, but you want to be doing something like for your business, just making a whole bunch of pancake wreath frames that you can decorate later on, just put the mesh on. And they stack pretty thin. So that's always something that you can do to work on your business if you're not quite at that season yet, or you just want to get ahead. Doing this in front of the TV at night is a very nice, mindless thing to do, as opposed to watching hours and hours of TikToks and Facebook Reels, which is what I do. Now, I've been making tomato cage trees, so that's been fun. Trying to store them in my house, it's been fun. I just made 5 more bases, so I'll have, like 9 trees. I'm trying to figure out what to do with, where they're going to go. I've put them in the bathrooms before. They may end up there again. I'm just saying. You never know. Sometimes I had them just riding around in my car in the month of November just because I didn't want to take them out because I had a show next week. So I'm just driving around town with a bunch of like Frosties in the back seat, you know. I'm like, ooh, does this qualify me for carpool lane? It does not. All right, here we go. All 12 pieces are now on this wreath, okay? And it should measure, I think, about 22 inches. And the depth we are looking at right now is, 4 inches. I mean, this is going to calm down a little bit. It's a little puffy right now. I think mostly because of the border stripe going around the outside. So it's a little puffier. But, okay, so we are going to put this, go bye-bye. This is going to move to the side. Fried Linda. I know. Just add a little salt, a little bit of breading, a little bit of oil, toss me around, and have me touch the microwave. Yeah. Man. I'm not smart, all right? I know this. This is not news to me. All right, I'm going to cut this one first. I also have this pattern. I bought a 50-yard spool of this, but it's more like traditional, like orange, green, but it's a really cute pattern. This goes with a lot of stuff. So I've got this. So I'm going to cut 12 pieces. Now, I have my ribbon tail board. This is from Hot Mesh Mom. You can get this at shophotmeshmom.com. And this has 13 inches and 14 inches. I pretty much always cut my ribbon tails at 14 inches no matter what it is. Just because, I don't know, I just do. So I need 12 pieces of this ribbon. So I'm going to kind of wrap the end over this just to kind of anchor it on this board. And I'm going to wrap it around. So I've got 1 tail, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I have enough left on here that I can probably make at least 2 bows. Maybe even like 3. If I were putting 3 bows on a wreath, I could definitely get 3 bows out of it. All right, here we go. So now I'm gonna slide my scissors through the end of that loop and cut both ends. So there's end number 1 and end number 2. And I now have 12 pieces. Now I'm gonna stack these so they're all nice and evenly stacked, right? So all my ends are nice and level. I'm gonna bend this in half so my wired edges are all together, okay? And I'm gonna cut angled from inside out toward the wires, and that gives me what we call a dovetail shape. This keeps it from fraying, and it gives you a really nice edge on the outside. It looks finished, it looks polished. It's like putting a little bit of makeup on it. It just looks nice. Okay, there's stack number 1. Now I like these big blue handled scissors. I think Max has some of these at MB Craft Supply Co. I used to like my Fiskars, but I gotta tell you, these are now my go-to scissors just because it makes such a nice snip sound, right? It just, I don't know. I like it. A little wreath making ASMR for those freaky people out there who like those sounds. I don't judge. I have my own freak thing. Like, I have to get rid of my cut ribbon tails right away before I can move on to something else. It's a thing. It's just a thing. I love this. Look at the edge on this too. This is black and orange on the edge, and it's purple with candy corn. Look at how cute that goes together. And this was from TMI Gifts. Love, love, love this. This is an RG ribbon. It's a great quality ribbon. And you always get more for your money when you buy ribbons from places like TMI Gifts, Craft Outlet, Deco Exchange, as opposed to buying it from like Michael's and stuff like that. I don't know. Some of their patterns are okay, but their ribbon prices have gone way up, and I think it's better to just order. If you order enough, you get free shipping most places. So, okay, 1, 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm so excited to use this. All right. Oh, slide that out. Cutting through one end. Here we go. Cutting through the other end. I have to finish making my Halloween costume for the Halloween event that I am going to, thrown by Coach Melissa and Coach Tammy from Deco Exchange. They are doing theirs with it's Polka Dot Wreath Co. and Sincerely Creative Mom are throwing this, and it is in Michigan. It is next month. They might still have virtual tickets available, but I'm going in person. And my friend Liz from Wild Wing Wreath and I are going and coordinating costumes, which I shall not reveal. I shall not reveal until after. But it's been a hoot making this costume, let me tell you. I haven't put this much work into making a costume since I made a costume for my son's anime convention like 8 years ago. I had to make a cape and all this other stuff. It was crazy. But this is not that much effort. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Fortunately, I'm driving there, so I can put it in my van and not have to worry about squishing anything into a suitcase. All right, I'm going to take my ribbons and put them off to the side right now. We are going to use these when we make a bow. Here we go. There we go. Trying to see who joined. Oh, thank you guys so much for joining. This is so fun. This is so fun. I love doing this. You know, I do also go live on Mondays on Facebook. Mondays at noon Central. I do Monday Crafternoon. And tomorrow we're going to be making a swag. I'll show you the stuff for that at the end, but I'm super excited about that. Okay, so here is our wreath frame. Now, we're going to start by adding our ribbons on the outside first and then come in and add them on the inside. Okay? So, I am going to, I want this to be my bottom ribbon and this to be my top. So I'm going to ask it, are you a top or a bottom? That's not my business. That's not my business. Okay. Ah, there we go. There we go. Ah, there we go. Okay, I got it on top. Kind of end to end, so it's, get out of the way. There we go. All right. They're layered on top of each other. And then I'm going to fold it in half. All right, ends together. I want to press down. I want to make a seam, okay? Because when I open it back up, this seam here is going to tell me where to gather it up. So I'm just going to gather it up. And because these tails are going to kind of go outside on an angle, I can bend it down a little bit. I'm not making an X shape with these ribbons for a pancake wreath. On this outside, I'm just making, it's just going down like a, it's not a 90, I don't know, 60-degree angle. I don't know math. Just bend it like that. So I'm going to open up now. I'm opening up. I've opened up the pipe cleaners. Now you can see this mesh is staying because we've already kind of squished it and it's been sitting there a while. So it's behaving itself. I'm going to put that in here. Okay. Now I'm going to pull it tight. I'm going to twist it and I'm going to keep twisting it so I have like about an inch that's all twisted together. So it's kind of like one piece. And then I'm going to cut this right here. Good. I was worried I was going to cut my finger. Wouldn't be the first time. Now I'm just going to bend this right back here. Right? Just bend it back there. All right. And then I'm going to separate these ribbons out. Now I like to alternate the patterns. So I have like, I'm going to call it like I've got the black and the purple and then the black and the purple. Now you could do something like that as well if that is what you like. If that's the design you want to go with, it's totally up to you. I just like to alternate so that each one really gets a chance to shine. And there we go. I'm going to do that all the way around the rest of this wreath. And again, if you see little tiny pieces of the mesh, go ahead and just trim it off. Some people do cut the mesh with a wood burning tool. I do not because I don't want to breathe that stuff in. And I'm also afraid I'm going to burn myself. Because if you've ever watched me before, you know me and a hot glue gun. I am lethal with the hot glue gun. Gave myself, I don't know, I think almost a 3rd-degree burn at Crafters Convention the first time I went. I had to drive home with my fingers bandaged, and they were the middle fingers, so I'm driving home like this, holding onto the steering wheel, thinking, please don't anyone think I'm being aggressive behind you. It's not directed at you. I'm like, please. All right, here we go. Now I'm just separating these out again. And as we work around this, they're going to move around. This is just kind of the nature of this. So we're going to put them where we want them. But once we're all done, we'll have to go around and do it again. But so far, this is what it's looking like. Adding on these ribbons. They're so cute. They're so cute. And they're really making a lot of really cute Halloween ribbons. Now, you're not going to find Halloween stuff at Hobby Lobby. You can find things you might be able to use, but they don't do Halloween there. I'm assuming for religious reasons, but they focus more on fall. But Joanne actually already has some of their Halloween stuff out. I was in one last week, and it was already 40% off. I don't think I've bought anything there yet, but I got something really cool though that I'm going to make soon. I got this at the at-home store last year, and it was like this ceramic planter. It's like a skull head, and it's black, but it has like some like burgundy florals, like roses and stuff on there. So I'm gonna make a planter out of that. I bought a whole bunch of cans of the spray foam, our gaps and cracks, as we call it. So I'm gonna fill that up this week. And I also bought an enormous giant skull about this big that's hollow in the middle as a planter. I got that from Joanne. I'm going to make something big with that. I don't know if it's going to be shippable, but I do have a boutique space in Painted Tree where I do bring a lot of things. I'm going to be honest. My Painted Tree experience so far in my smaller space has not been great. I'm further down in the store, so I don't know if it's just that I'm not getting traffic or whatnot. I've lowered the prices, but I'm just not really getting a lot of revenue in there right now. I know it's probably time of year. People don't have a lot of money to spend, but I really thought my Patriotic would have done better than it did, and it did not. So that's okay. You know, it's all live and learn and finding what sells, what doesn't. But I even had like very inexpensive, like $3.99 bows, like patriotic patterns, and a lot of those still haven't sold yet either. So we'll see. It's all sometimes hard to figure out what's gonna work, what's not. But I am looking forward to putting my Halloween stuff out there. I have Halloween in my shop, a whole bunch of Halloween in my shop right now. SweetAriaDecor.com. If you go there now and check that out, lots of stuff out there. And you might want to wait till tomorrow, because later on tonight I'm going to go on and I am going to put on a 20% off sale on pretty much everything except supplies, tutorials, and shirts and tomato cage trees. Those are the only things that I'm not going to have on sale for 20% off. But everything else, I got lots of patriotic, lots of Halloween, because I go a little cray-cray for Halloween, right? I was going to try to use one of those new phrases kids use. I don't know, Riz or something like that, but I don't know. All I know is I never want to hear the phrase skibbity toilet in my house. My daughter doesn't really say it, but I've heard other people on social media, and I'm like, no, we don't need that. No cap. See how stupid I sound trying to say that? You guys think just because you're younger you don't sound just as stupid? You do. Remember, gag me with the spoon, and oh my god, grody to the max. If I heard myself talking like that now, like I did back in the 80s, I would think, what is wrong with me? Am I okay? Was I deprived oxygen? But no. It's just funny. Let kids be kids. I just don't know what the heck they're saying, but that's fine. Right. Oh, thank you so much for #1 gifter. Thank you so much, Michelle. Oh, CC Crafters Convention. Carol, where we first met. It's like on Titanic when they go to the back of the ship when it's sinking and they're like, Jack, this is where we first met. That was exciting. That was a fun time. It's so nice to be among other crafters. Like, you know, in the online community, it's great, but to do it in person, it's just so fun because everybody gets why you freak out about ribbon and mesh. Not many people might understand that. It's a niche thing, guys. It's, you know, like, I'll be honest. Some people might peruse more adult content websites at night when they're trying to go to sleep or whatnot. You get my drift, wink, wink. But not me. I'm like all scrolling through TMI Gifts and Craft Outlet, and like my biggest guilty pleasure when I really can't sleep is I go to Craig Bachman and I log in. Not that I've ordered anything from there yet, but I'm working on it. And I will just go to ribbon, and I don't even filter. I just look through like hundreds of pages of ribbon, and it's just, I don't know. It's my thing, man. It's my thing. I love it. You know, and as a widow, I don't have much else going on at night in the bedroom, if you know what I mean. So, like, you know, if I get my freak on with ribbon, then I get my freak on with ribbon. I have no shame in that. Where I get into trouble, though, is when I add to cart and then I check out. I gotta not do that. I did that last week. I ordered a whole bunch of wreath frames from Craft Outlet. And I don't know what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, I'm done, right? So I made the $69 minimum for free shipping. And then I realized I forgot to order all my Halloween mesh. So it's like literally 60 seconds later, I had to start another order. Did you guys ever do that? Thinking, why? I gotta slow down. It's basically like online shopping on Ambien at night, and I need to, because I do take some meds like that at night to sleep, and yeah, I do kind of question my judgment when I wake up in the morning. It's not like I roll over next to me and see a stranger and go, how did you get here? I roll over and I see an order confirmation. And then I was like, oh my God, what did I do? But, you know, at least an order confirmation can't give me an STD. So there we go. Sorry. Look, I know I'm TMI. You get what you get with me, all right? If you're looking for someone nice and prim and proper, and that is not this channel. All right, here we go. We are coming close to the end here. We're coming in on the inside. This is going good. Got just a couple left. And I'm loving this color combination. And now this makes me want to go out to Target and see if I can get a bag of candy corn from somewhere. I found a bag of Mellow Cream pumpkins in my pantry from last year, and I was tempted to try them, but I tossed them, which hurt my heart deeply. I didn't know I had them, but now that I'm on Mounjaro, I can't really eat that kind of stuff. I did eat that kind of stuff while on the meds, and I paid for it. No, not good. The dark colored soda later in the afternoon, nope. But I can do Diet Sprite, so that's helping. But yeah, I'm a sugar addict. I wouldn't say I'm recovering. I'm just kind of cutting down, and it's been helpful. I feel much better. I can walk up a flight of stairs and not feel like I need to call 911. And I'm not even kidding. Like I would have to rest at the landing on the way up because I'm also asthmatic. But I feel so much better, except for the nausea. But that's okay. I'd rather be nauseous than feel like I'm having a heart attack. So there we go. Just one more set now. And then we're going to put on the sign. And then we're going to make the bow. Now that sign, we're going to have to adjust that sign because the metal that's on there right now, it's going to make it hang, I think, a little too low. So we're just going to have to shorten it up a little bit, which is no big deal. Okay, here we go. Last one, bottom, top, fold it in half, check for the seam, gather up the seam, bend it down, open the pipe cleaner, put it in, close the pipe cleaner, twist it up at least an inch, inch and a half. Give it a little vasectomy, snip, snip. That didn't hurt too bad. Stop being a baby. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. We've got it all on here. Check that out. Check that out. The mesh, this is 10-inch wide mesh, and I cut it at 18 inches long a piece, and I cut 12 inches of that. And the ribbon I cut at 14 inches long. This is a 2.5-inch ribbon. Both of them are 2.5-inch. All were cut at 14 inches long, and then I dovetailed the ends. So really, it ends up, after you dovetail and cut off a bit of the ends, you're probably talking like 13 inches once it's dovetailed. Here we go with that. So now comes our sign. I will give you the details on this. You can see this came $7.99 from the At Home store. I think I got this on clearance because I bought 2 of these signs, and I wouldn't have bought 2 if it wasn't on clearance. But it's reversible because we got out of candy, but it's primarily going to say welcome. So I got a little bat. I want this to be able to flip and flip. So how I'm going to do that is, how am I going to do that? Oh yeah. I was wondering where these all went, and I think I used them all on the wreath. I'm going to use a pipe cleaner, and it's going to kind of attach on this way so that they can flip the sign however they want to. So I don't need to put any holes or attach anything onto the sign, but I am going to be classy and remove the price tag. I'm classy that way. And this is called Tricky Treats Wall Decor. So I'm hoping they have something like that again this year. So now I want the sign to kind of basically hang here, okay? I want to cover this pipe cleaner, that pipe cleaner, and that pipe cleaner, because you can see right now, you can see those pipe cleaners. So I want this to cover that. but just a little barely. So this needs to come up. Here we go. This needs to be like right here, okay? So, trying to bend this a little bit. Try to bend the sign. All right. Maybe give it a little twist. I don't know. How I'm gonna do this. But I want this to kind of hang from here. So let me figure this out. How am I gonna do this? Actually, you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna not be stupid. I didn't realize that it's very easy. I can just, let me get my pliers over here, my trusty pliers, so hold on. Pink. There we go. Pink. I can this is kind of like, it's in a little curl. I can uncurl this, and then I can rebend this wire, scooch it on down, all right? So let's do this. Bring this on down. All right, I'm playing with the wire here. Let's see if that works. That looks like that works. So what I'm going to do is I got to redo this curl. So I'm going to bend. I'm going to cut a little bit of that off, okay? And I'm going to take this and I'm going to make my own little bendy curl. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than if I had messed with it up at the front. So I'm bending this. And look, not bad, not bad at all. There we go. Find the center point, make sure I got, there we go. All right, and then a bow is gonna go up top here. So right now I'm gonna attach this. And I'm gonna just give this a quick twist. All right, and I'm gonna put this right over and under the existing pipe cleaner that was here, right? So we've got a space already made, so don't reinvent the wheel. I'm gonna go right through there, and over the top. All right, pull it up. I want to make this a little bit here. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. So I just bent that just a little bit more. It made it a little bit shorter. Came up a little more. Perfect. I love that. So then all I do on the back here, you see it's straddling these rings. I'm just gonna twist it. All right. I kind of twist it all the way, honestly. Now I like to trim it off to make it level so it's nice and even. And then I'm just gonna wrap it around those rings again. This makes everything look nice and neat and finished, and it's protecting anything on the back side here from getting scratched. We don't want to scratch the door. Keep it all nice and neat. Here we go. So they'll have that, and oh no, we're out. Oh, here we go, right? So they can reverse this sign. All right, but we can't just leave it like this. No, we have to add the bow. The bow, the best part. All right, and then we'll fix our ribbons too, because they do go scooting around a little bit. We got to get them to learn their place and where we want them, but that's why we always used wired ribbon only wired ribbon. All right, and then I'm gonna probably put a piece of candy corn here and there, because we're only going to go with one ribbon up at the top here. So what I want to do, I want to give this some depth. Now, I've got this 4.5 inch ribbon here. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm not going to use this to make a bow. I'm just going to make a tail, okay? I'm going to dovetail one end of this first, okay? So I'm bending it over again. Wired edges are all together. Cut from the inside, angled down toward the wires. All right, I got one nice dovetailed side. Where do I think I want this? I think that looks good. All right, so I put this in here, and I can tell you that that is, the ends are hitting at 7 inches. So then I'm going to come over on my other side. Here, let me move this. I'm sure you guys want to see how to do this. You make some room here. All right, there we go. So that hits at 7. I'm going to come over here on this side. I'm going to do just past 7, okay? Just past 7. And then I'm going to doop, bend it over in half, and then dovetail it. And there we go. So it's kind of like you have like a little bow tie in the back behind here. It's going to give it some width, right? But we're not adding loops, so we're not adding any height to it, because that's the key. The more height you add to it, then you end up with a pancake wreath that's not a pancake. All right. All right, so I'm going to move this to the side. Actually, move it behind me. Done with that one. So now the next layer that I want to do is, okay, so here's my dilemma, okay? You know what? I'm switching this out because, I have this in a 1.5 inch too. I forgot about that. So I'm going to go this one, and then that one repeating again, so it's all super cohesive. All right. So I'm starting with my spooky dookie. We're going to angle that. Put this through. Now this is the Easy Bows Design Pro. There is a link to it in my affiliate link. If you go on my link tree, in my profile, you can find a link tree, and it's going to say Easy Bows Design Pro. I love this because I cannot make a bow by hand. If you can do that, you are blessed, and trust me, you are very, very lucky. I can't, because this hand doesn't really hold stuff very well. So I'm bringing this in here. Now this came out to 7 inches. This one, I'm going to have this tail hit at, this one's going to hit at like 6.5 inches, okay? Now I'm going to pinch and twist. What that means is I have the correct side up on my right side, your left, and then I'm looking at the back side on the other side. So then I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to make a loop. Sorry, I put it on there the wrong way. I'm going to make a loop. So this loop is going to hit at 6 inches, okay? And I'm going to pinch and twist now on this other side, right? Pinch and twist. Bring it down. All right, 6 inches. Actually, you know what? Maybe I want to do a little bit less. I want to do a little bit less. I'm gonna go 5.5 inches. Yeah, I'm gonna go 5.5 inches. There we go. All right. Now, debating if I want another layer of this. I think I do. All right, so I'm gonna make another set of loops. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this over. I'm gonna do this again. 5.5 inches. If you do want to make bows by hand, follow Sincerely Creative Mom, and she makes beautiful bows, as does my friend Max. All right, so then that tail came out to, that was like a 6.5. All right, so I have 2 loops on this one now. I got tails at 6.5 inches, and these loops were actually 5.5 inches. All right, so I'm gonna loop up, loop down, and the tail down. All right. There we go. So I'm going to pick this whole thing up and I'm going to show you what this looks like right now. Looks like this. Okay? Pretty cool, but also pretty thin. All right, now we're going to add our next layer, which is our candy corn. I want to eat this ribbon. All right. Okay. Now we're going to do a tail that hits at 6 inches. Okay. And then we're going to pinch and twist. So I'm looking at the back side of the ribbon on the left. I did it again. I should have put it the other way and then you would have seen better, but I'm trying not to block your view. Okay. Now this loop, because that was at 5.5, this loop is going to be at 5 inches. Okay. And then I pinch and twist. And then I pinch and twist. Now I'm not shoving these loops down. I'm not flattening the loops, but I'm not keeping them super full either. Okay, so we're going to 5 inch over there, 5 inch over there. All right. Thankfully, this is not directional ribbon. That's a nightmare. All right. And now I'm going to flip it over, pinch and twist. I'm making another set of loops again. 5 inches on either side. So a 5-inch loop. Basically just copying right the loop in front of it, right? It's just cloning the set of loops, the same width that you had before. Okay. All right, and then this is, the tail hits at 6, so I'm going to cut just past 6 because I dovetail. Okay. And now this is what this looks like right now. Let me get this moved up. I'm going to have this tail in the center. So it's going to be loop, tail, loop, loop, tail, loop. Your loops should be moving independently. Everything is like an individual entity on here. Each loop, each tail. Okay? So the tail's coming out to the center and it's mimicking where we had that black. So this is what it looks like right now. There we go. Woohoo! All right. Now we're going to add our last layer. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. I know this has been going for a while. Wreath making is an art. It cannot be rushed. Nah, I got stuff to do. I gotta rush. I want to make sure I'm done in time to watch House of the Dragon. Ooh, I love that. My husband got me into Game of Thrones, and I just kind of sit and mentally just think of him when I sit and watch it, and it makes me happy. But I gotta watch what they have on there because my 11-year-old is a little sensitive to some of that stuff, and there's stuff I don't think she needs to see. All right, so this is the 1.5-inch ribbon. So this tail is gonna come out to, we're gonna do 5-inch tail. Yeah, 5-inch tail. Maybe, yeah, 5-inch tail. Okay. All right, and then I pinched and twisted. And this loop is going to be, what are we gonna make this one? Let's call it, I'm going to come in a little bit smaller here. So this is a 4-inch loop and a 4-inch loop. All right. Now, I'm going to pull the tail down. And I'm only putting one loop of this on here, okay? And I'm cutting this off because I'm going to use one of the candy corn pieces and glue it in the middle. And that is going to be so cute. I love doing that. I've done that the last couple of years. All right, here we go. So now what I need to do is get a black zip tie, and then I get a black, actually I don't even think I need that. I'm just going to use pipe cleaner, okay? Now I'm picking it up from the bottom just a little bit. I need to get my hand under the bottom because I'm going to pull up from the bottom while I'm pushing down from the top. It's a BLT sandwich and I don't want any of my layers to get out. So I'm holding it real tight. All right, squeezed. This is gonna go between my fingers here. All right, now I'm gonna push it on my chest because I'm using what my mama gave me. Here we go, twisting. All right, so here we go. All right, so here we go. My bow is going to go right over that spot that I've already got in there. All right. It irritates me that TikTok does this. Like, if you're on a live and the camera is over there and you've got it facing you away, I can't see that there's anything on there that says I need to do anything. TikTok, fix that. It's annoying as hell. Ah. All right, I'm trying to get it through here. Okay, so we've got this. It's going right over this. All right. It's going right over the sign. I'm twisting it. All right, I'll fix it later. I'm gonna make sure that my bow looks good. It's a very thin bow, okay? Now I'm gonna take this. I pulled this right off. I got hot glue. I'm just gonna glue right on the back of here. And I'm putting it right on here. Okay? There we go. And I don't even need to add any candy corn pieces on either side because it's covered by the bow. So you cannot see the pipe cleaner on either side. So this is perfect the way it is. So this is the wreath that I have. It's welcome. And then when they're out of candy, they can, they can flip it over. Sorry, I'm being very careful not to mess with the bow right now because it's got that glue thing on there, but it's actually pretty easy to do that. Flipped it over, now it says out of candy, right? So this is a wreath that's got two purposes. All right, so we've got out of candy, and then we go back, flip it around. Oops, come on. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Come on. Oh, there we go. I was twisting it the wrong way. And now it says, welcome. All right. Oops, see? So I can't mess with it. It's coming unglued. But anyway, so this is our finished wreath. This is going to be available at sweetradecor.com. I'm going to have this listed probably tomorrow or maybe later on tonight. But this is a pancake wreath. You can find the full tutorial for this. I'm going to have backed up over on my Tube of the U channel. And I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. This was fun, kicking off Halloween. I know it's a little bit early, but not for us crafters. So thank you guys so much and have a great night, all right? Happy Halloween! Woo!
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. You can shop my store at sweetradecor.com and you can follow me all over social media.